Rocket ships higher. What a day on Wall Street. We did very, very well today. And if you watched yesterday's video and you agreed with what I had to say, then you probably did pretty well today. What did I say yesterday? I said, I'm not selling my poet, P-O-E-T. This rocket ship gave us another massive move today. And I just had to come out here and take a little minute to celebrate with you guys. We largely bought between $8 and $5, and now we're enjoying a high of $15.11 today. It took a little bit of time, and the advice that I gave every time people ask me about Poet is I believed in the technology. It's the right technology, the right company, and kind of endorsed by NVIDIA to the extent that they bought shares into the company and want to work with them. I've explained it before. You cannot reach the highest level of AI pushing data across traditional copper. You have to use light, and that's what this company does. It's the technology needed to advance AI, and it's going to be a lot of eyes on this in the days ahead. That's been one of the themes, that you got to hold something for a while to get the big gains that Wall Street wants to give you. Some of you have been out there, what I have called my fourth discipline, doing what I do myself sometimes, which is to overtrade. And you're not beating the SPY, and you're not beating the QQQs or VOO. Matter of fact, some folks are losing money. Well, in my opinion, it works best to get the education and to trade with the community. I've got a community. It's called the Chart Goat University, Stocks with Josh Hart fam. And we had a beautiful morning today. Me and Miss Mary led the family in a live trade session, and it was power trade after power trade after power trade, stacking beautiful 50, 60, and 100% trades. And I highlighted even in the last 10, 15 minutes that I liked NVIDIA. It was breaking out. I think I cashed it out at around 100% profit. But if I had held that, of course, NVIDIA just kept screaming higher, would have been a 300% winner. Hopefully some of you guys held it. If you did, let everybody know in the chat that you had a good time and you made some money today. Welcome to Wall Street. Today, Wall Street's been kind. What did I say in my video yesterday? I came out and said, don't believe that red candle. That red candle was lying at the close yesterday because there was institutional money flowing into the ETFs, SPY, QQQ, and surprisingly, Tesla. Now, Tesla from yesterday on its lows went up a full $10 this morning. So all that money flowing into Tesla yesterday cashed out nicely in the first 15 minutes of the day. We rode Tesla up as well. And so I'm going to continue to give you where that smart money is flowing. Where do I figure that out? Well, it's primarily through watching the money in unusual options activity. And I built something called SWJ Intelligence. It's a web page, a web tool that's coming to the SWJ family here very soon. But it's what told me where the money was flowing, and it's what helped me make that video, and it's what helped guided my bias going into today. I have to go back and talk about some of the tools that have been given. Two tools that did extremely well today that have been given to the SWJ family. And I'm going over this because I want you guys to know that if you're not making money, you've got to get yourself positioned correctly, getting the right information at the right time. I provide 5 days a week, half an hour before the market opens, my A-plus scalp setups. And I want to share with you what I said today about Tesla because it was exactly, perfectly spot on. Not to the penny, but pretty substantially close. Worth noting, I said before 10 a.m., watch for rejection first. You have the level of rejection. It's at 381.68. And I said after that, once we get rejected, expect the RIP to be sold, likely sold off with a target down to 373.55. We went lower, we went to 372. So the exact roadmap for success was laid out in the A-plus scalps, something that you can have access to. And if you're in the Stocks with Josh Discord and you don't know how to trade these, you got to show up. You got to ask questions, and you got to join and make sure that you attend the Welcome to the Discord master classes in which I teach these tools. I have to highlight another win that we had, which was with the friendly screener. Now, last week, we had a server issue, and it was acting a little wonky for a couple days. And I warned the community. I said, hey, we're having some issues. We're transferring it from one server to the other. But yesterday, we got it online, and lo and behold, it gave another massive pick winner, a 90+% winner. This is from the Live Runners screener, the first pick in the morning. ENVB, and this thing absolutely moved today. Now, the friendly screener is not just showing these small cap picks, it's also showing you market leaders and strength leaders, as well as trend reclaim. Now, what I love the most about the trend reclaim screener is that it actually kicks in after the market closes today. Between 4 and the market close Eastern time, it'll pick a stock that has, in the final moments of the day, reclaimed significant trend and will be a front runner on Monday. If you don't have this information, come check out the Stocks with Josh community. Invest in yourself, even 1 month in there, properly applied, showing up for the education and the live trading sessions, I think could make a world of difference. You can go to the name of the show, which is the name of the website, www.stockswithjosh.com. Okay, what is the market saying today and where are we headed from here on Monday? As we get closer to the close here on Friday, more money, institutional size, began to push back into the SPY and QQQ. Now, in addition to that, there was some interesting hedging going on because we are near the top of the range and we don't want to just let animal spirits run wild. That's why they call it smart money, because they've got to hedge their position. What type of hedging were they doing? Well, they were selling calls slightly above this range. So basically, they were putting money into the SPY and the QQQ while simultaneously selling calls on a lot of the big tech stocks above the price range that we're in, trying to collect that premium, trying to basically max profits during this critical moment. Now, there was a couple interesting outliers that I want to bring to your attention going into next week that are apparently setting up for a very, very big move. One of them is Morgan Stanley. Massive, monstrous, bearish positioning on Morgan Stanley. I tried to figure out why. The money flow was telling its story, but the fundamentals apparently have another story to tell. Private credit scare. This was the trigger to why folks are beginning to take a bearish position on Morgan Stanley. The concern was that there was some private equity attempts at cash withdrawal, and that didn't go well. They basically locked those accounts because they weren't liquid enough to meet those financial needs, which means, hey, we're holding on to your money. We made you some money. The market's going well, but now that you want it back, well, give us a minute. Give us a minute. We got to go find that money. It's wrapped up in Bob's home mortgage or whatever the case may be. So I don't know the full story behind it, but there was very large, big, mega, multi-million-dollar bearish positioning on Morgan Stanley. Right around the corner. Watch that one for some puts. Might make sense to take a little bit of a bearish position on Morgan Stanley. In addition to that, we have some concern on Amazon. Now, my big thought behind the bearish positioning on Amazon is that it has run up so much that it's time to protect the gains. One of the first steps that you can take to protecting gains is not necessarily to sell your Amazon, but it's begin to hedge your Amazon, which means to buy puts in case there is an unexpected drop. You could then sell your Amazon and then cash out or even hold your puts a little bit longer to see how deep it goes. So we did see some bearish flow on Amazon, but largely I think it's a hedge. It doesn't mean that it won't still have a burst higher moment. However, there will be some profit taking on Amazon. All right, then one more that's been the beast of all beasts, which is AMD. There was a lot of money flowing into semis here for quite a while. AMD, I saw the same thing there, very similar to Amazon. There was bearish positioning, largely a hedge against the fact that this has run up so much. It's how do you take profit without actually selling your position? It's to buy some insurance to the downside. But when we begin to see that type of large insurance buying, it means that the institutional money is getting nervous while holding this position, holding their winners longer. I'm going to leave it there. Keep the video simple today. It was a huge winning day where we held Poet and we doubled our money practically. It felt like a double our money moment, even though it didn't quite 100% double. But again, AMPX, I talked about it yesterday, Poet, both ripping higher. The market is on fire. And if you have one takeaway from this video, it's probably to short Morgan Stanley and to be careful, put a strategy together, How are you going to protect the gains that you just made? Are you just going to ride it until 1 minute it fails? Now, I will throw out one other macro thing that I was watching today, and that is the bearishness of oil, right? It's looking pretty bearish going into this weekend. There is a strong chance that Donald Trump is going to announce over the weekend some kind of a deal made with Iran, and that's going to yet again throw gas on the bullish market that we're in. And it's why we saw large positioning in the SPY and QQQ. Remember, yesterday we had an ugly red day. For many, it felt like a scary moment. Are the markets rolling over? What did I say? No, they're not. And they don't appear to be rolling over Friday afternoon either. And so it looks as if we might be getting some good news out of Washington over the weekend, which could give the markets that one more mega pump moment higher. So let me know what you are holding over the weekend. And we got big earnings next week. Amazon's reporting Wednesday. Another couple other big companies will be watching. I'm going to be at the Bitcoin conference this weekend. Hope to see some of you guys out there. And I've got a couple lives I think you'll enjoy from Vegas. So make sure you check out the next video. Hit the like and subscribe to get those shows. Talk to you soon. Peace and blessings. I'll see you in the Discord.